That is so catchy. We are Squawking Dead, a podcast pulverizing programs beyond the Walking Dead universe. Sometimes we give you news, sometimes we make you laugh, most times we go deep. I'm your host, David Cameo, and I'm joined by...
Me, CosmoMom09.
And Rob at Rob Stuff and Things. We're on TikTok and YouTube.
Hell yeah, he is. And today we're here to speak with you directly. We're going to be directly speaking to you, the one person out there, about, I don't know, there's actually multiple people who really enjoy our coverage.
Well, good.
It's Welcome to Derry's third episode of its inaugural season, titled Now You See It.
Now you see it.
Now you see it. I'm the skeleton man.
Oh boy. That character was it was really scary till it wasn't.
We'll say more about that in just a minute. We'll take a word from our sponsor. Now, we do have some housekeeping because we just covered the first and second episodes of Pluribus on Apple TV Plus. I very much enjoyed talking about this new series, and I hope you all at least see it. If not, listen to our conversations about it. You can get to that uncut, full-length, almost 3-hour conversation on those two episodes via our Ko-fi and Patreon.
You can watch me start off going, and by the end I'm like, yeah. It's like a full transition.
Even when we're discussing first impressions on the series, which I never got to give, by the way. Just want to mention that. Because even Charity had said, she was the one who was really pushing for it. She was like, I don't know what's happening the first watch. And then she said, second watch, oh, okay, I see what they're doing. Meanwhile, from first watch, I messaged you guys right away. I was like, this is in our wheelhouse. I so love this show. Like, I didn't think I would be the one, to be honest with
pushing it so hard, yeah.
Like, we had exact opposite reactions.
Go over there and watch our coverage, and then maybe you will also be on board. And
yeah, again, this is like another PSA to, at the very least, tip us when you feel in the spirit, and when you do, you'll get 30 days access to our unedited episode recordings, which you can stream anytime when you get the notification, or join a membership tier starting at $4 a month, and you'll be able to do that for as long as you have a membership, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And the unedited is very entertaining. We get wild.
Well, in addition to that, if you happen to just follow us, which is free, you can always join a recording session and lend us your thoughts in real time. So you don't even have to tip us or join a membership. If you follow us for free, you'll be able to join in the studio recordings in the real-time chat and then just add your vomit, your brain vomit, basically.
Waft your farts all over everything.
Yeah. Why not?
David's been in a place of farts lately, so just come in here and stink up the place with your farts.
As I caught from the last episode.
And we'll be getting into that heavily because I guess what I was talking about was pretty much on the money. Not literally, but...
I was really hoping we could wait until David started patting his own back, but here we are.
No. This is, I have some ownership.
I wasn't even going to bring... I got so...
mad when I was right. When he was like, oh, Dave was right about the forgetting part. He's going to bring up farts and flatulence. And
as soon as Rose said, I'm like, ugh.
This place has a way. The further you get from it, the more you forget. What is this lady talking about?
I guess she had a good point and a slightly different point than you were making. Rose said the farther away you get from Derry. So out of sight, out of mind type of deal. You move out of Derry and then you start forgetting everything. What you were saying, and at least this is how I took it, was everyone in Derry is forgetting things as well, which still may be true. I'm not saying it's not.
They did make a sort of mention of that too, though, in this episode.
Young Rose made a comment about
even the people in this town during the cycle, which was also mentioned in this episode, because the military knows about the cycle, that people tend to forget the troubles, basically, until the troubles come back, and then they remember again, basically. I wish I could tell you exactly. I don't think I wrote it in my notes, but I can't tell you exactly what made me think that.
Unbelievable. I can't believe you didn't timestamp it. The moment Dave was right.
Well, not the moving away from we all clocked the moving away from Derry makes you forget, but the idea that after the cycle, people tend to forget the fog, sort of the farts.
The farts waft in. Yeah, they all breathe the farts and then they forget.
Regardless, though, to your point,
you live in a sewer after all.
It's true.
That's kind of what I was about to say.
This is true.
To your point, we are getting more answers. You know what? I appreciate what the show does. With every answer, it throws up like several more like teeny weeny mysteries that you don't get annoyed by, right? Exactly. And we know what show
I know. I will never let it go.
We're backhandedly complimenting, sort of.
Never let it go.
Talking about From on MGM Plus.
Oh, okay.
Have you watched it, Rob?
I'm enjoying it. No. Rachel, not so much. It's fine.
I hung in a lot longer than Sharondy did. She was out.
Well, Sharondy with the gore factor was really annoying, more than anything else. But
she doesn't like gore stuff.
But like I was saying, though, with this series, you know what? There are some folks, and I will shout out Big Meanie on our YouTube channel. She has been commenting on both our Daryl Dixon coverage and Welcome to Derry, even though she has not watched the movies, the miniseries, read the books, nothing.
So she's just jumping into this series.
Oh, that's probably so fun to watch this that way.
And that's kind of what I'm hoping for. I'm eager for her comments because not only she's been enjoying our coverage of the series, but I think she's actually liking the series, which is kind of interesting.
To have
I would just love to be able to do that.
Well, check your YouTube studios and you'll see her comments. I am very curious to see from somebody else's eyes who's never seen the series. I think that's a mark of a great series is if you don't have to rely on the source material to make it be an enjoyable show. It's been forever since the book was published. The miniseries is 35 years ago, just about. And the movies themselves, 10 years ago. So that's half a generation ago, basically. So when things like that happen, you have a whole generation of Zoomers and whatnot. Like, what is it? Exactly. It's it. It's called It. The movies and the book and the miniseries.
Proven timeless too, right? Something relevant since the 80s and they keep bringing it around. And
it's because clowns are always scary.
Every new generation loves it.
Ideally.
It's for a specific crowd.
True, yeah. Once horror starts becoming passé or something to that effect, it might change.
Horror's endured. Like, it has its cycles, obviously, but horror's come back around pretty hard recently, especially, I would say. It's had a really good couple of years.
I will definitely take your word for it.
Don't watch horror that much.
In terms of the generation gap, I'll be like,
I guess.
The hippie younger, Dave's dancing now, just for the audio podcast for some reason. Anyway, I'm caffeinated. It's what's happened. It's for dinner. So let's go to the title. The title is Now You See It. And obviously I'll do the obvious thing first. It's what the skeleton man in the carnival says to young General Francis Shaw. Well, before he became a general. Wouldn't that be funny? Let's go further into that. But then also, where are the other Now You Sees It? How does that relate to what we saw in this episode? Let's start with, why does the skeleton man say, now you see it? What is it? What is it?
His empty eye socket.
Yeah, well, Francis is walking through a freak show, and I don't mean that in any sort of derogatory way. That's
what they were called.
That it was.
I think the PC term is House of Oddities. Rachel, cancel. Rachel, Bert, Bellinger, Bert.
I'm going to be totally honest, just because maybe Rob has a better answer than I do, but right in that moment, like that scene, I didn't know right then. I'm like, what is he looking at? Your bones? And also, was he naked?
No, he was like in tatters.
I honestly had the
like
same
a
question.
Loincloth.
Okay.
Rags for shoes, basically. Yeah. This is 1908, by the way. Just for context. I don't know what that means, but let's just leave it there. We're a couple decades away from barbarian skins.
My question is, going into the freak show, was the skeleton man Pennywise to begin with? Or was there actually a skeletal person, part of the show, that then was used as a creature later?
Well, we saw a sign for Skeleton Boy.
Did we? Okay.
So, so it was a fixture in the House of Oddities.
Actually.
The Siamese twins grossed me out.
It reminded me of SpongeBob. I'm sorry. It's terrible. There's a scene where... This is so stupid. Where SpongeBob is getting super close to Squidward and he hugs him and goes, "We're like brothers, only closer." And he lifts up his shirt and they're conjoined exactly like that.
for the SpongeBob. See, they're gearing their show for the Gen Zs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was their SpongeBob reference. It was the sound effects. And it was like,
I know. It was just gross.
Like,
that was the thing, the visually dripping.
Yeah.
The blood
red. It was very much a
which,
gross sound effect.
One thing to note about these oddity shows, as I politely corrected Rachel on, is that a lot of it is makeup work and it's not all legit. Some of it's legit. Ideally, the carnival barkers want it to be legit. Like, oh, the freakier the better. But some of it's just, you're right, genetic deformities.
Bearded lady and wolf boy.
And even then, they like to hype it up a little bit too.
Sure.
So
because they got to make their money.
The smallest woman in the world, you know?
Especially during this time, there wasn't anything else to do. People were bored. I listened to the Morbid podcast. They do these old timey cases all the time. And they have mentioned several times in several different episodes how back in like the early 1900s, late 1800s, people would be on display in a morgue and the public would come through and like pay a nickel to like stare at corpses.
Look at the dead body. That's crazy.
I was even just thinking just now also how when it comes to the traveling shows, a lot of, I don't know if there were really laws when it came to the remains of people who were in these carnivals. So a lot of the times the tallest man, let's say, would be a pile of bones that they would show on display, or mummified tallest man, let's say. And you'd see them all across the country in some of those road stop curios and stuff like that.
So funny enough, there was a criminal who died in some crazy shootout and his remains ended up part of a traveling carnival.
In life, not in the show.
In life. This is a real, real life. Yeah. He was recently discovered because his remains like ended up in like a haunted house or something, or part of some kind of display. And someone like broke a piece off and realized, oh, this isn't a mannequin. This is a person. And he was noted as like the worst criminal.
Gangster.
Yeah. He was part of a traveling carnival for years. To answer your question there, I don't believe there were regulations. That someone from the carnival walked in, claimed to be a relative, and they handed the body over.
Shout out to The Thing off of, I think it was Highway 50, if I'm not mistaken. It's worth stopping. So if you're out there, just do it.
It's cheesy. House of oddities, David?
Exactly. It doesn't make itself out to be more than it actually is. So it's not like done up. There's no smoke, mirrors, and lights and stuff like that. No, it's just like you go in the back and there's a bunch of stuff to look at.
You pay your nickel and you look at
your
weird
nickel,
stuff.
right?
If you're ever in Austin, Texas, the Museum of the Weird is also a good one.
Well, you know what's another one out in the East Coast, or at least the Eastern Seaboard, is Philadelphia has a kind of like a morbid museum. Basically, there are a bunch of cadavers, mummies, skeletal remains of fetuses and stuff like that. It's super for the...
Definitely morbid curiosity will take over, and I definitely want to go.
If I remember what it is, I'll put it in the notes or something like that, and I'll put a link to it. My friend Matt and I went there once a long time ago, basically.
Y'all ever been to the body exhibit whenever that comes around?
This is in 2005-ish, right? The mid-2000s. Okay, just so everybody knows. There was the bodies exhibit, but then there was I don't know if it ran in parallel, or I don't know if it was the same one, but there was a scandal behind a similar exhibit where they basically showed the parts of the body, cross sections of people. Basically, those bodies were ill-gotten, some of them
unethically sourced, we'll say.
Thank you so much for the clarification on the exactitude of...
We're talking like a Burke and Hare situation, or did they
we're talking about China and how they don't give a F, basically.
Yeah.
On the ethics.
Well, Burke and Hare started as like grave robbers, then they graduated to murder.
Just weren't satisfied with robbing graves. Just want to rob the living and kill them.
They needed the real thing. They needed them fresh.
Yeah. So we all saw the white-faced clown that looked similar to Pennywise. I don't know about you guys. I was like, oh, same painting, but I wasn't thinking that was Pennywise.
No.
Only because we've seen other pictures of Pennywise in like human form.
Bob Gray is his name.
Oh, yeah. Pennywise as a human.
The original human.
Yes,
the original person he takes the form of, his name is Bob Gray, from what I remember.
Okay.
I actually just watched the other two movies, so I believe that's correct.
So maybe Bob Gray was like walking around and sees this cute little clown with the red swirly makeup and is like, ooh, that could be creepy. And then like adopts that look. Am I wrong in thinking that? Did you also have the same feeling when you saw the
Yeah, that looked like it was a female clown. Am I correct in that?
I agree.
Younger.
But at first,
lady.
I thought we were going to be like, oh, an early rendition of Bob Gray's clown Pennywise, because he was the real Pennywise. That's where when you're in the sewer and you see the Pennywise cart, that was Bob Gray's traveling clown cart.
In the sewers with Halloran's vision, basically.
Correct.
Well, I'm not going to say you're wrong.
I might be wrong. I'm just speculating.
Who are you saying is wrong? Because
Both
everything Rob said is correct.
Well, okay, about the time and what came first, the Pennywise look or this lady, right? In the Pennywise makeup.
Well, I have no opinion. I'm not going to say question.
No, I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I'm leading into a fact that was said on the episode, which was General Francis Shaw. First of all, we're going to just say it out loud again, knows about the 27-year cycles.
Yes.
Which is cool. Super cool. I love it.
Knows a lot more.
Right, than what he probably originally found out as a kid.
Yeah.
That's fine. Again, it dovetails off of the last thing we said in our last episode. But the thing that he also mentioned, he knows a lot more because he mentioned even that Pennywise existed 300 years before the automobile was invented. This evil.
The thing buried.
Exactly. They unbury a Cadillac from the Bradley gang. And this was, of course, 1935. I didn't know the Cadillacs existed back then, but Cadillac Company itself started in 1902. The first automobile was invented in 1886. So what General Shaw is saying is that in 1586, that's when the evil started. That's when Robert Gray came about, basically. And I just thought it was interesting. It's worth mentioning. Okay, so again, 1586. And you get a peek of that in Halloran's vision.
Well,
basically, that first Harlequin mask, basically, I think is what we're talking about here.
I think you are definitely correct that he's been there for that long. However, just because I just watched the second movie, Mike Halloran says he's been there for millions of years. He crash landed under Derry for a long, long time.
Mike Hanlon, right? Not Halloran.
Yes, adult Mike Hanlon.
I was doing that all throughout my watch for notes. I was like, Halloran. God damn it. And then they have dinner together. Which is the worst. Let me add one more thing. Okay, millions of years. That's entirely possible. But General Shaw puts like, at least in the human.
He's been here at least that long,
right. And the evil's been collected. Right. We're gonna get mystical. No, we're not. Okay. all I'm gonna say is consider this. If Pennywise has existed, at least in recorded history, whatnot, from 1586, and he mentions 300 years before the automobile was invented, which is 1886. When does Pennywise meet his second to last cycle? Basically, the last cycle being in this universe, 27 years after. It's 1986, if I'm not mistaken, was the last set of kids that we see in the past in the It movies, basically.
You're talking about the movies?
So he manages to get a couple kids in 2017 when they're adults.
Right.
Yes.
As usual, right.
His last full cycle before that would be 1980s.
So
I just thought that was an honorable mention.
27 would be 1990. So 90 should have been his cycle before 2017.
Oh, yeah, maybe you're right. Sure.
Also, the movie came out in 2017, but did it take place in 2017?
That's a good point.
Oh, it did. Or, yes, 2017. That's right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
We talked about this in the first episode.
No, I know, but just because the movie came out in 2017 doesn't mean it took place in 2017.
Oh, yeah. Sure. When would that place?
Chapter 2 takes place in 2016, according to Google.
That's when it was filmed.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
300 could just be a roundabout number, not exactly 300 years.
Yeah.
And you said, Rachel, that it doesn't mean that he doesn't operate or things don't happen in between the feeding cycles, basically, of fear.
Well, I'm just saying like normal bad things.
Yeah. normal bad things, but maybe even Pennywise influenced bad things.
Just because of his farts.
Maybe. I guess I assumed he like went into some sort of hibernation for those 27 years. So he's like asleep.
I could see that, but I could also see it because everyone forgets, like he's still emulating some kind of
evil
power
energy.
Over. Yeah, basically.
Okay. Not him actually doing the things, but just because it's Derry and it's evil.
Because he's a interdimensional being who doesn't technically belong in our reality. So he's just emulating different energy.
Yeah, because everyone's just living in this constant fart. Bad things are happening.
Well, even a constant fart, an occasional gust of wind is a break in the norm.
Sure.
So I could see Pennywise emerging from the waft, like a little waft of fresh air comes in, and Pennywise is like, no, we can't have that. Let's kill somebody and Make more farts emanate, basically.
I don't know. For me, anyway, that would defeat the purpose of the 27-year cycle. If he comes out every 27 years, then that means for 27 years, he's not around. I agree with what Rob is saying. Like, maybe it's just sort of evil waves sticking around. But Pennywise himself, I think he's down for the count for 27 years.
That's fair, because even Henry Bowers coming about, I think it was just prior to the final cycle, which means he prepped for that. He made sure that the kids weren't going to come back to finish him off, basically. I think it was just prior to that cycle to try to get them.
Okay.
Because he couldn't himself for many reasons. A, there were adults, and B, who knows if they would have the requisite fear for them to be affected by him, basically. Because we saw a little bit of that in this episode too. Get you back on track.
Right.
Because he saw what happened when Rose used the slingshot on him. It affected him because she imbued her courageousness into the shot, basically, essentially.
Not only that, again, because I just watched the film, so I picked up on things that they say in that. Pennywise has to abide by the laws in the form he inhabits. If he's a human form, he can be hurt because he technically inhabits that form for that time.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But we also see another thing, though, and that is, even Rose says this, and I love that she does, that she tells young Francis Shaw, to not look back. Because when you don't look back, you can't be affected as much by, I guess, his form, basically.
And you can run faster if you stop looking behind you.
True, also. But when Skeleton Man Pennywise gets hit, you could even see the blood floating in midair.
Yes, I love that.
So he's here, not here, too. There's like, is he in the sewers with we all float down here? And it's just this solid fart that is taking a corporeal form.
Yep.
The blood is just the fart actually wafting.
Solidified.
It's broken apart. I can't believe I'm so sorry.
I think it's the most accurate metaphor, though.
The fart is just the forgetting, though. It's the forgetting fart. Guys, it's forgetting flatulence.
But it's coming from Pennywise. It's his fart. So.
True. And Rob says, he emphasized it's coming from the sewers for a reason.
Yeah.
So before we move on from at least the carnival part, which I feel like we're ready for, but there's a couple of things. The conjoined twins are in the carnival, the Lee twins, but there is maybe a nod to the Shining's Grady twins. So there's that. Okay.
Definitely. There's
a mermaid sign in the background right before young Shaw goes into the carnival shop. The sign says Mermaid Direct from Royal Aquarium in London, basically. It's from Stephen King's short story, The Mermaid in the Pool, in his book Fairy Tale. Direct from that. It's not even like a suggested Easter egg.
The mermaid in Fairy Tale's dead.
That's neither here nor there. It existed. Isn't that the funny part, right? Because we were just saying that these curios are like, it's a real mermaid. Mm-hmm. But it's a dead corpse with they put a fish body on it.
On the back of a monkey.
Whoa.
My local county fair used to have their little oddities trailer, whatever, and that stuff would be there like that.
Rachel, you can learn a thing or two from Rob.
Shut up.
Well, we have Coney Island too. It's like, I wouldn't say it's the birthplace of that sort of scene, but they certainly perpetuated it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is a dumb reference. It's not even a reference to anything, but the bottle of water being a nickel is $1.76 in today's currency. Just wanted to mention that.
Wasn't there a wolf boy or a hairy man exhibit too? I thought I heard the Barker listing off.
You got to see it as well in a flash.
Okay.
Is that from something?
Well, Stephen King wrote a book called Cycle of the Werewolf. Could be something.
If only there was some just adjoining words to kind of connect that, because there's always been a wolf man in these carnival things.
The wolf is a priest. I don't think that's anything.
If the wolf was wearing a priest outfit, which that would do it.
That would be cool if it was.
That would do it. So I'll look if I'll take a closer look. If it's there, I'm going to put it on the screen. If not, sorry, good luck. Tough luck, Chuck. I hate Easter eggs because it means I have to do more work. Like, here's it is on the screen, everybody. It takes so long.
I have a quick question. When we see Francis at the carnival, and then obviously we see him getting the water or whatever. So from that scene to later, we see the kids sitting on the rock talking. Do we think that's like a significant time jump, or is that like relatively within like the same, I don't know, year or few months or what?
I imagine the same summer.
Okay.
Right? His dad was a military man. If I'm not good. I think he was deployed to the area and was stationed there.
I thought the same thing, but when Shaw sees Rose again as adults, he says, it's been 50 years.
It's been 54 years, if I'm not mistaken. He's rounding up or down.
2 cycles would be
54.
54.
Did he say 50? I thought he said 50
He said
years.
50.
Okay.
50.
And I'm like, that's not right. Your math is not mathing, sir.
My gut was like, oh, that's Shaw and Rose, whom we've seen. I'm like, 62. They're so old. And like thinking in my head, like something about like the long arc of history and how life is longer than we think it is in some ways. Like is afraid of dying as we often are and should be. Right? Because then maybe you might not do some awful things. It's just interesting to note that 1908 and then you meet in 1962, which feels like a long time to maybe us in 2025, but maybe life is longer than we take it for. It's kind of cool though. You were basically in junior high school and now you're meeting again 54 years later. I'm thinking about my own life, meeting somebody whom I've lost touch with many folks in junior high school. So it's kind of like, I could get that. And then it's somebody whom I think they were sweet on each other. If I'm not, am I off on that? There seems to be a sort
of. I kind of got that vibe.
Yeah, I kind of felt that same way.
So I tried to put myself literally in a similar position of somebody. I actually thought of somebody. I'm like, that would be kind of cool. How different we look, maybe. And my wife is dead in this scenario. Like, maybe we can get together. That'd be kind of cool. Anyway, sorry. Well, is there anything else? Because there's more to say about that.
About what?
The span of time, the Derry era forgetting farts, and how he knew her name, but he didn't remember her until he came into the shop, which is so cool.
Until he got the
farts.
The cease and desist.
Right. He knew her name before he remembered who she was, basically, which is so cool. It's like the science of the fart, how permeating it is until literally you have to be in the vicinity of somebody to remember who they are.
It's like a memory blocker, but as soon as the thing that can help you remember it is there, you will.
I don't know if you guys thought of this for the last few episodes, but what is the purpose of that, though? Is that so that nobody comes back to deal with Pennywise?
I think it's a little bit of that, and it helps him continue his cycle because people do forget about it. And then when it comes around again, they don't entirely know. Or like when you're a kid and getting haunted by this thing, but you didn't die, he doesn't want you to remember it as an adult and come back. But because in the movies, Mike Hanlon keeps interviewing people and keeps digging into it, he keeps the memory alive. Struggling to do so, but he does it, and he does it successfully.
And of course, I feel like it should go without saying, but I feel like it's very important to say it, is that it is a commentary on what people are willing to forget over having to deal with some of the trauma that they've experienced when they were younger. I'm being the Bridget stand-in, by the way, because Bridget sadly couldn't make it tonight because her power is still out and will remain out for the next 2 hours, probably. I'm the Bridget stand-in when it comes to trauma right now, and I'm doing a piss poor job.
No, it definitely is, because people like to create that block and just put it to the back, not think about it, and move forward.
Yeah, and well, people looking on and not doing anything, like Charlotte trying to stop the bully, it goes hand in hand with that concept, like, well, don't rock the boat. That's how we do in Derry. Which I also should mention one more thing. I can't believe I didn't bring it up when we talked about it, Rachel. I compared Derry to Ireland's Troubles, and yet Derry is sort of an Irish town name, so it kind of makes sense that
it is.
It is. It literally. I'm saying the origin of the word Derry is from a mirror town in Ireland, or mirror. Yeah, town is the right word, right? Yeah,
sure. City.
So I thought that was kind of interesting. Maybe a little Irish blanket behind you, looking-ish blanket.
It's just green. I think they're snowflakes.
Yeah, it looked like clovers if you don't squint.
I guess a little bit.
You were talking about how you don't think Pennywise eats adults. He only goes after kids. That's not true, because he does eat an adult at the beginning of the second film. That's the first thing he does.
Right. But I think what we were saying is he doesn't absorb their fear.
I think it's more kids feel fear much stronger than adults, so that seasons the meat for him much more. But he can eat adults if he wants to.
So what you're saying is adults are like fast food. It's not. It's
it's not.
It'll
it's
get him
fine,
by, but he'll be hungry like a half hour later. You know, it's like doesn't really do the trick. I'll take it. I'll take the win on that one.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
It's like getting Wagyu, but from a garbage can barbecue, basically. Yeah. A trash fire. Shout out, Rachel, because you called it. The title sequence has remained the title sequence.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Okay, here's the thing. I love this show so much. I don't even want to talk about the things that bother me about it, but I do.
Go ahead.
Maybe we can sort it out.
No, you can't.
I still want to know.
Okay. So the skeleton guy, I don't mean to go back to the carnival, but the skeleton guy at the carnival, he was really scary. I was like, whoa, like when he flicked the light and like stepped into, like, I was like, oh, that scared me. But then when he's chasing him through the woods.
Is it because of the CG effect, like the uncanny valley, or?
Yes. And I think it's a me problem because anyone else watching this might be like, holy cow, that's so scary. But I'm like, oh.
I was more scared of the pickled Octodad from the last episode.
Yeah, that was creepy.
This felt more, because it's in broad daylight, you can see it doesn't leave much to the imagination. So it doesn't really instill that fear in the watcher so much as, like, if it was really happening, that would be terrifying.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But watching it on screen and like you can see everything, it's like, okay, this is scary, but it's not frightening by any means.
Yeah, I agree. The CGI is kind of, it's leaving me with like a
it's
sour
hard
taste
to do
in my mouth.
monsters that don't look CGI though.
Agreed. I would almost make these scenes a little
implied over overt.
Maybe like instead of his bones like cracking and twisting and turning, and maybe it's just a really skinny, terrifying looking guy chasing after that.
Or like a mix of practical and CG.
Maybe a mix, but to me it seems some of these scenes are 100% C. Like there's no.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm like, we couldn't do like something there, guys.
I think you might be on the money on this one because, and of course they had to do it during the day just to kind of because Rose and everything.
That's definitely counting against them.
Look, they started out right. The whole seeing what he thinks he's seeing in the distance is a very, very effective tactic.
Oh,
like, is that the thing I just saw in the tent that terrified me half to death?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, no. And then you see it again. They see it again. And then it's all of a sudden it gets really close. Oh, I am seeing that. That's so far so good, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It's just when everything is so up close and everything like that. It's I see what you're saying. Could there have been a better way to board that sequence so that?
Yeah, possibly.
But I have a feeling it's more of a minor gripe for you. It's like it still did what it had to do, and it doesn't necessarily mean I'm scared of it, but it definitely means that he's scared of it, etc., etc.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to temper your critique.
If we're gonna do CGI, I'd rather get through it very quicker and move on to the next scene. Like, let's not dwell on it too much. For example.
Oh, there's more.
There's more.
Okay.
The graveyard scene with the
ghosts.
What I can only describe as Casper ghosts.
So let me hit on that a little bit before you even get into it, is that in my head, I did not write this in my notes or anything like that, but in my head, I was thinking, is there a reason why they were chosen? The corpses of the recent victims and why it wasn't as terrifying. And I'm thinking, I had an answer like keyed in, but I'm not sure if I'm on the money with this one. Okay. Because it ties into the end of the episode where we see the photos actually being developed and actually showing the children, right? And it sort of goes to what you were saying, Rob. Pennywise has to play by those rules in order to show himself to everybody at once, right? A shared delusion, whatever it is. He has to actually be corporeal and be felt, which means they can take a picture of him or it or whatever. Fine. I felt the same way as you, Rachel, and I'll raise you because of the last scenes, because they were able to take the photo. It's not going to end well. You think this is a reprieve and like, oh, they were so successful because it's like the first episode. I feel like we've seen this movie before. They're lulling you into a sense of sleep. Of like, oh, they're going to be successful. They're going to be the losers club. No, that's not how this film ends. They will get out alive. Some of them will get out alive because they have to perpetuate, the species. At
least one of them will.
Yeah.
Ronnie and Will maybe. And maybe not even Ronnie.
Will's the only one who's plot armor here.
Yeah.
Right. Will Hanlon.
This is kind of the gripe I had with starting Better Call Saul, was because I know where all these characters end up. And you saw Breaking Bad first and stuff like that. Oh, I've seen it. Better Call Saul was amazing once I actually sat down and watched it. No, it is one of my favorite shows. And I was like, so much was them. But like at the end of the day, there were certain people that had plot armor. Like, they were going to get out of any situation they were in.
I don't know. I remember in that scene not feeling scared at all. In fact, I was chuckling a little bit because it was very much like Casper. I just pictured Casper's uncles playing tricks on these kids in the graveyard.
Stretch, Stinky, and Fatso.
Exactly.
In true to form, Rich's Tio, his uncle, was one of the first ghosts we see, basically, I think. So
I just thought it was interesting that the final shot for the episode where he says that's a clown wasn't the big reveal of Pennywise's face for the first time. It was still blurry, still very much this amygdala of a pattern on the paper.
Right, like an ink blob.
Yeah.
Almost. How worried are you for these kids, though, by the way? From the ending of this shot, I feel like we're going to go straight into the next episode with the pictures going on fire like the miniseries.
Or he comes out of the photo.
Oh, that too. Oh, that's right. In the movies, yes, that's what happens.
Well, they'll try to get these pictures to someone first. Ronnie wants to take these pictures to prove that this exists so that she can get her dad out of jail. So they're going to take those pictures to the cops. It's probably going to backfire, and they're going to be like, oh, you have pictures of these dead kids. Your dad must have taken these.
Or Pennywise will edit the photo to be a picture of her dad at the theater.
Oh, yeah.
And incriminate him more.
Because Chief Bowers is getting closer to getting evidence on Hank. I think you guys are on the money, but also this is another meaning for Now You See It. Just wanted to say that. Now you see the proof, or see it.
Oh, yeah.
It.
Yeah.
But also the proof.
I do want to talk about things that I liked from the graveyard scene before we move on from that, because it sounds like I didn't like it, but I did. Because
and there's an Easter egg in there too, but it's very minor.
The whole little ritual thing that
Richie puts totally BSing.
I know these kids are just so adorable, and like
precious.
He's trying so hard to make friends, and he just wants people to like him. And every time he does something, he's like, "Oh yeah. This is okay. This is allowed." And Lily just, oh my gosh!
As long as you come right back.
Yeah, this has to work, and she's just so desperate. And Richie's like, "Yeah, it'll work."
My cousin and my uncle told me.
Yeah. I really wanted to look up what he was saying when they were still in the water tower, and he was explaining what his uncle did. Did you do the research on that, David?
Of course I did. Yeah, of course.
Okay, because as I was watching it, sometimes we don't have the same.
Sometimes I don't have enough time.
We don't have the same thought process. Sometimes I think things are important, and you're like, meh. But when I do my first watch, I make little
mental notes
tabs in my head, and I'm like, ooh, look that up later. Then on my second watch, then I actually do the looking up of the things. And that was one of the
When was the last time you took notes, though? Come on.
I've taken notes on every episode so far.
I know, it's just a dumb joke. Well, it's really West African, but the Cuban religion of Santeria. Orishas are divine spirits or deities that represent forces of nature and human characteristics. So a lot like Japanese shrines house spirits of nature and ideas and such. It's a very similar concept. Derived from the Yoruba religion in West Africa, they are considered intermediary beings between humans and one supreme god. So they're like the demi or like under gods under the single god. Each Orisha has his own character, colors, songs, and dances. And as a bonus, they can be deified ancestors who link the spiritual world with the human world. So like Rich's Tio. Basically. Why did he see him? I didn't know you were dead. I know he talked about his uncle as though he was alive, and yet he wasn't. The way he put it was like, yeah, he would conjure an Orisha when somebody welched on one of his bets. Like, you're using this sacred thing to get money back. It's hilarious. Also, the sky is blue because God is a boy. It gets me every time. I think he even said his Tio is a babalao, which is a priest in the Afro-Cuban religion of Santeria, or Lukumi, and practices the Ifa divination system. These priests, also known as fathers of the secrets, quote unquote, serve as spiritual medical guides, performing rituals, offering spiritual counseling, and preserving Yoruba traditions. They can be experienced in Cuba through spiritual consultations and participating in rituals. Cool. So he was like kind of a priestly figure, a babalao.
Hi.
Oh, yes, this is Parker. This is my son. He's 1 year old now.
Happy
birthday,
Harry's
Parker.
I know. He's crazy hair.
Bit of an Easter egg. It is ironic that he's using the Ave Maria to conjure up the Orisha, since it's a prayer to allow spirits to cross over into heaven, not for them to come back from the dead. So, to be more specific, is an invocation for the intercession of the Virgin Mary, the mother of Jesus, to help the souls of the deceased in their purification process from purgatory and hasten their entry into heaven. Which leads me to, this is a genuine question, is Rich making all this S up, basically, this ish? From front to back, beginning to end, is he making all it up?
I think his Tio probably practiced all of the stuff that he said he did, but I don't think Rich has any idea what it is, what it does, why or where or how or who or anything, and none of that.
So he is making up some of the rules, though, right?
Yeah.
At least.
Yes.
He's definitely making up some of it based on knowledge, some knowledge he does have.
Yes.
Right, passing that.
And filling in the blanks.
There is a reason why I'm asking, though, because does Pennywise care? Because as long as you believe in it, then he can affect you.
Yeah, why would he care?
It's so
he
fascinating.
Immediately used what they thought was what they were doing to get back at them. And use that to make them afraid.
Isn't that fascinating? Which goes to like the part of voodoo, right? If you know anything about voodoo or what's commonly known about voodoo, or at least fairy tale wise, is that voodoo can't affect you if you don't believe in it. It's kind of a catch-22 because the human mind sometimes fears things unconsciously, which is why it's like the evil eye too. It's the same in Judaism. If you believe in the evil eye, it will affect you. So of course people, they by default go, two, no, evil eye. I'm warding off the evil eye, but by doing so, you believe in it, so it'll affect you. Does not make sense. Does not compute. Anyway, here is the Easter egg part of it. As Ronnie and Lily are speeding off on their bikes because Will Hanlon, of course, stepped in it. He said, I believe that you believe it. And they're like, what do you mean? And then they leave. Mm-hmm. And then spooky things start to happen because the Jesus statue on one of the headstones starts to look evil. We don't like that. Said many people on the internet, by the way, who are very religious, which is...
He's an evil entity who's going to take over whatever he can.
Right, exactly. He's going to have Jesus defecating on something. That's how awful... David. See? That's Pennywise. It's not me. It's Pennywise.
He could do that.
Exactly.
Oh my
Only this wasn't that kind of show.
Anyway.
So as they speed by, as the first cracks on the ground start to appear, is the headstone of Teddy Burgess, or Theodore Burgess. Now... I looked it up. Okay, and there's not many references to Teddy Burgess. It's a character in L.P. Hartley's 1953 novel, The Go-Between. Oh. He's a working-class tenant farmer who becomes involved in a secret romance with a young socialite, which, you know, Will stepped in it. There's Veronica Grogan. There's like a little bit of a... Well, even the Teddy Burgess in this novel, right? Because as you read the headstone, you find out a little bit more. And this Theodore Burgess is an LLM. LLM is the first thing on the headstone. It's an academic abbreviation for Master of Laws, basically. And this is like a military academic title. And on the headstone it still says, served his country with distinction, lawyer, statesman, member of Congress, honored for his wisdom and political integrity, born August 10th, 1855, died July 31st, 1923. His wife, Edith Burgess, devoted to family, born September 29th, 1859, died June 22nd, 1928. So she died a little bit after him. It's a little interesting Easter egg for those who may have read the book, The Go-Between, L.P. Hartley. Look, who doesn't like motion? As unscary as the ghosts work, sort of. They still sort of did the bone cracking thing that the skeleton man did, right? They kind of like... Which I thought, okay, I like it. It's got
which is weird, because ghosts don't have bones.
I will say this. Did you catch a vague Phil Malkin? Just like in the blurry areas on the screen? Or am I off?
I think it was very upfront.
Visible. Right? Because wasn't he the one that was upside down?
Yeah.
Ronnie grabs the camera. Lily got caught in the tree. Takes a picture of Susie Malkin. And just then Phil, upside down, pops it right into her view. And she drops the camera, basically. Yeah. And Rich grabs it. And then in a later scene, he's out of control running down the hill. Will has to grab it. And that's when he gets the camera for Pennywise. But I just wanted to be sure because I wasn't 100% certain that was Phil. Because we had talked a big game in the last episode about he was the only one that wasn't rotting basically on the cereal boxes.
Him and Maddie.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Maddie was the first one we saw, right? Besides Theo.
It was Maddie, Susie, then Phil.
I didn't see Maddie.
Yeah. I think Maddie was the first one after.
Yeah.
I thought that was Teddy. I did not see Maddie. And even the person we thought was Phil could have been Maddie, which means Phil is still alive. I don't know. That's why I wanted to ask because I wasn't quite sure because I didn't see Maddie at all in any of this.
I thought I saw Maddie.
Do you agree with Rachel, Rob?
I do. I think it was definitely Maddie, and couldn't tell you exactly when, but pretty sure I saw Maddie. Definitely saw Susie. They got the picture of her. Yes.
Okay.
And then
I'll take your word for it. No problem.
I mean, if I'm wrong, correct me.
You know, I'm gonna end up putting the video footage in slow motion anyway, so that we can catch it. But if I do, well, you'll see it on the YouTube or the Spotify video, and you podcast audiences will never know. It's just sad for you. There is one more little tiny Easter egg, I think so, from the cemetery. Oh, yes. Okay. As Susie pops onto the screen, Susie cites this song just before Ronnie takes the photo of her. The line that she says was, "Oranges and lemons say the bells of St. Clement's." And of course, Maddie's last name is Clements.
Mm-hmm.
Thought that was kind of cool. And I think that's what the song is called, is Oranges and Lemons. Let me recite the song and they'll tell you what the meaning of it is. Oranges and lemons say the bells of St. Clement's. You owe me 5 farthings, say the bells of St. Martin's. When will you pay me, say the bells of Old Bailey. When I grow rich, say the bells of Shoreditch. Pray, when will that be, say the bells of Stepney. I'm sure I don't know, say the great bell of Bow. Here comes a candle to light you to bed, and here comes a chopper to chop off your head. This song is also sung during an accompanying game where I don't remember, this is like where the age gap will start to show. You have a bunch of children holding up their arms in an arch, and then at the end of the song they chop off the one kid who gets stuck, basically, and here comes a chopper to chop off your head. So they all like go under the arch, you know, the person in the front goes in the back, and etc. etc.
Isn't that how you play London Bridge?
Essentially, yes.
Yeah, we all fall down. Yeah, exactly. Like. It's the same general principle. And it is an English nursery rhyme, basically. The meaning behind the song, of course, with all nursery rhymes, it's super dark. Sort of. I could go into the specifics, but the bottom line is that all these church bells are an example of people who will end up dying. Whether you're rich, you know, you can afford citrus fruits, oranges and lemons, or you're poor, like welching on a bet. And you have to send it or reach after somebody. Whether you're rich or poor, death comes for us all, even the sinner with the execution at the end, basically. If the ghosts weren't scary enough, the song is plenty scary.
Yeah.
There is a parallel in this episode between young Francis Shaw and the boundary being the woods, and the kids and the boundary being the cemetery. Because it's arbitrary, isn't it? Or is it? It's a question, though. It does go to the beacons. Because if the beacons are a thing, and maybe there is a sort of limitation on Pennywise's reach, right? Maybe he can only access people within a radius from the beacons, quote unquote, because we don't know if they're actual things or if they're ideas. It's kind of like the slingshot. If you believe it'll hurt Pennywise, it will. Or not looking back to see the horrifying thing, so they won't affect you as much. If you believe the gates of the cemetery is safety, or if you believe the outside of the woods is safety, is it? Of course it is. It's just interesting to kind of dissect, well, for lack of a better word, this belief in Pennywise. I
guess he's got to have some sort of boundary, otherwise he would leave Derry. Or is it just, he just chooses not to?
So the beacons are more of like an anchor than it is an area of effect in each of the beacons, maybe. I don't know. It's interesting to dissect.
It's interesting the thought of one of them being the car from the gang massacre or whatever, like
the Bradley gang.
How far outside of Derry was that buried, or was it just at the town's edge? Like, where exactly was it in relevance to the town itself?
Yeah, and clearly the Bradley gang. Okay, so let me give you a little bit more details for the uninformed about the Bradley gang massacre. They do reveal the bulk of it in this episode, but basically, Al Bradley, the leader of the Bradley gang. It wasn't that they massacred everybody, right? You'd think, oh, the Bradley gang, they're tough and fierce. It's kind of like what you were saying, Rachel, about the Curio oddities thing, where they had the worst gangster in the world. Literally, the Bradley gang are the worst gangsters in the world because they were so bad that the massacre was that the Derry residents, the people in the town square, murdered the Bradley gang. They massacred the entire Bradley gang. That was what the massacre was. And in addition to that, it was mentioned, and it's also in the title sequence, the fear, the weapon, took on one of its forms. And if you see the title sequence, you can see it took the form of Pennywise. Shooting horizontally out the window. Planking it in thin air, basically.
Mm-hmm. He looks like he's hanging off the building, isn't he? In that shot?
But from his tippy toes, basically, almost.
I mean, he's floating. As he does.
Right. Yeah. Because we all float down here. Oh, I love how you chose the Pennywise with the fence
spike going through his head. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a fence spike or a cemetery.
Oh, yeah.
Spike, if you will.
I love this because you can actually take that out too.
Oh, that's sick. Oh, yeah. And he has one missing eye. Oh, and that's the other meaning. Okay. So when Rose shoots the slingshot rock at the Pennywise Skeleton Man version, she shoots the one remaining eye. And what's interesting about that is that from that point forward, the Skeleton Man can't or whatever the version of that he's portraying, is stumbling around, can't really make a straight line towards the kids. He's bumping into trees and stuff too. I thought that was a nice touch to it all too, because like you said, he can only operate in as much as he can in the physical world, and otherwise it doesn't work.
Has to abide by the laws of the form he's in. Yeah,
exactly, or the form he chooses. Right. Oh, okay. Small Easter egg: when you see Rich at the lockers overlooking Ronnie and her humiliation, basically coming back to school, Hatchet Hank's gonna fry, etc. Right?
Well, yeah.
In Rich's locker behind him, there is a photo of Cuban baseball player Minnie Minoso of then the Chicago White Sox, but by 1962 he was the St. Louis Cardinal. Minnie Minoso was the first Cuban baseball player, basically. So it's an interesting touch.
He was there in the first episode too. Sorry, the second episode, because we meet Rich in the second episode.
I found it very, very telling or educational or revealing that no matter how powerful Dick Halloran is, well, which we didn't know. We didn't know how powerful he was. We had an idea because we have front-loaded knowledge and whatnot, but
yes,
that you'd think that he would be, I don't know, I'm not saying immune to Pennywise. And of course he has plot armor, right? Because he's in The Shining later on in life.
Only to get chopped.
It's interesting to see how much of an effect that they have on each other, but more Pennywise on him, basically, because he's in his domain. Because at first you do see that Harlequin mask in the first frame of the whatever mind bending sequence that they have when they finally mind meld Pennywise and Dick Halloran. From that point forward, it feels like we were seeing everything from Dick Halloran's point of view. So that's where the question comes in. What did we see in that sequence? Obviously, there's a scene of war right after the Harlequin mask and the bodies lined up in the field. What do you make of that situation? Because I have no reference point.
Well, these are what I assume would be Halloran's fears. Being in battle, losing brethren, watching his brothers in arms die next to him.
Are these flashes things he's already gone through and he's reliving them? Or is it something that he's just afraid of happening?
I wasn't sure if it was memories or if it was fears to start.
Yeah.
You also wonder if Francis, is this his experiences in life? Because it's his slingshot. So him touching it, would he be having flashes of his career in the military and stuff like that?
Rob, I didn't think of that. And, you know, because I mean, part of The Shining, what is it? Somebody educate me. I'm not going to go into it. What is The Shining if not? I mean, it's kind of like remote viewing, right? You touch an object, you have a shared, it has a shared memory, the object.
Shining's like having a connective tissue into someone else's mind.
Right. But in this case, through this object. And even they kind of touched on it too with the maps. Remote viewing, if you see a place on the map, you get a strong feeling from it. That's part of his gift. But I like what you said, Rob. Could be Shaw's visions.
I do too.
Wonderful. Yeah. I'm more on that side than anything else, I think.
I think Pennywise felt threatened by his presence there because he immediately tried to get him to walk off that plane and create an illusion that made him think he was doing something else.
Oh, yeah.
And I could see Halloran getting scared about that too. It's like, he could make me see things, not just me making him see things. Ooh.
Well, and he did get scared later.
Yeah.
Because he told Shaw it wasn't supposed to know. Now it knows.
He said, "What did you see?" He's like, "I think it saw me."
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the all-important question because is he in trouble? Is everybody involved in this operation in trouble? The super secret mission? Are they in trouble now?
Well, absolutely. This goes back to what I said earlier about knowing plot armor. We know they're not successful at capturing it.
Right.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Right. Yes. However,
so something happens.
I often do wonder, though, we have this assumption about, let's start with the movies, let's start with the miniseries, forget about the books for now. They could be a lot more definitive. We make an assumption that the kids from the movies end up being they're the ones who figured it out and did the thing. But what if all of this was just a little nudge or a little help along the way? This progressive inch by inch, generation by generation, they plugged at it and they injured it or figured out ways to warn the next generation to. They could do little things to kind of pay it forward to the next generation to the point where maybe by the time the movie comes out, right, 86 to whatever, I don't know what the years are in the movies. It doesn't matter. But maybe by the time that comes out, they've done enough damage to where they could actually finally take Pennywise out. Maybe they had friends along the way. You know what I'm saying? Like we said, the expectation is that we know the end of this movie. It's not going to end well for most of the people on the show.
Yeah.
But maybe we're wrong. It would be kind of interesting to see the places in which we were wrong and where we fell into their trap of lulling us to sleep with, oh, we found the pictures are developed. Oh my God, it's Teddy. Oh my God, it's Susie. It won't be for long, folks.
I would like to see them somehow contain or capture Pennywise, but then obviously he gets out of it. But maybe for like a brief moment.
They think they got him.
Yeah, for like a minute, they think they got him. That'd be interesting to see. And like how they do it.
Right, and somebody messes up somehow or he just slips through their fingers.
Yeah.
It's a ritual of chud all over again.
Before we leave the plane, I wanted to talk just a little bit about the different reactions between Polly and Leroy.
Because first of all,
reaction
I'm
to
wrong.
Halloran. Polly is real.
Because for all the things that I got right 100%. In this episode, like flatulence, Polly's most definitely real. Yes. Unless they're going to pull a bait and switch at the end, make me lull into sleep and be like, oh, you're right the whole time, Dave. He's so not real.
No, he clearly asked a question before they got
he's definitely real.
Yeah. Well, unless Fuller's not real.
Oh my gosh.
That would be a mind bender. He has a full conversation with General Shaw.
Yeah.
Anyway. Sorry, but go ahead with your Polly. Leroy back and forth.
I just appreciated the different reactions that each of them had to Halloran. Polly's like, who is this guy? What's happening? We're just flying around in circles. And what? He's a human compass? What the hell does that mean? So much for a
human compass.
Yeah, and Leroy's like,
look at this guy over here.
Leroy's like, all right, going east. He just like does
exactly. Polly's the me. Like, who does this guy think he is? Some human compass. And Leroy's like, yeah, yep, that's okay, all right. Hey, Halloran. And Polly's like, forget about this guy. It's like permission to go back. Anyway, again, black and white cookie, yin yang. They just compliment each other. It's just like kind of like Rich and Will, which I want to know Rich's last name now. It's definitely not Kasprak.
No,
we're gonna go by ethnicities here. Not very Cuban, I don't think, unless the dad's not Cuban. I'm not going to get into it. It's fine. Things like to repeat themselves in Derry. People resembling one another. Oh, I thought it was a nice touch that Lily's mother, Ms. Bainbridge, is serving the kids in the diner too. A little connective tissue to our fellas. When Halloran is in Pennywise's lair, it's kind of like you said. It's not all Pennywise's domain and Pennywise's complete control. Well, no, Halloran made it to the center of where Pennywise's essence resides, basically, which is the sewers, right? And we all float down here and all that stuff, right? But one thought leads to the other. First of all, he says, who are you? It's like, that's a very good question, Pennywise. Who is Dick? I don't even know who Dick Halloran is. Moving on, he says to Hanlon later on in the dinner, it's something about his grandmother, whom he sees floating. He's coming, Dickie. Get out of here now. Meaning, obviously, well, actually, that's maybe more of a question. I was about to say, obviously, Pennywise didn't get his grandmother, but could he? Could he have?
Sure.
I don't know. I had that question too, because I didn't even think about that till just now. That's right, because she was just floating there, and we've seen that lair before when Beverly got taken there in the first movie, and all the kids are floating above Pennywise's cart and stuff like that. So we've been there and seen that that's a real place. So why is she there if she's not actually there?
Right, because it sounds like Halloran was. Oh, I don't know. Where is Halloran from? Right. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is a lot of questions. But I will say, okay, it doesn't matter if she's here or there. I was just very curious because it could just be that she could be from beyond the grave. And it's not that unusual that people who have died will show up to help the kids fight, if I'm not mistaken.
That's true.
Right?
Especially someone who can shine.
Robbie Rob.
The dead.
Powerful. You just nailed it. You just did it. You did the thing. You did the thing that I could not have done without your help. So there you go. That answers the question. Yeah. We have credibility. It's like I'm a dummy, everybody. I'm the least knowledgeable.
When it comes to this show, I really like the fact because, like, you know, we see the movies. It's just that's just the books. It doesn't really incorporate other things from Stephen King's universe. It is part of that, but you don't really get that so much. Whereas in the show, they've got The Shining in there, Shawshank, Juniper Hill, all that stuff. Obviously, that's the point of the show, but especially if you're a fan of Stephen King, it really makes you just kind of feel whole. And
it does.
Especially if you have the inside knowledge, it makes you feel important.
One would even say it's shining a light on the connected universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hate myself. It's fine. Dave's coming for you, Dickie.
You can hate yourself. It's fine.
Oh. Let's go to the dinner, goddammit. Okay, cool that Hanlon was able to call out Halloran. What a smart guy, too. because he was able to reference point the last time he felt that feeling. But and how you think that feeling would dull with the adrenaline that's pumping through your system during this attack. Just because you can't feel fear doesn't mean you can't feel the heightened sense of danger. I have to assume, right? But he did feel it both times. Or maybe that's why he was able to feel it. Maybe because he couldn't feel the fear. That's all he felt.
He's just super analytical. He's just thinking about what's going on.
I would be scared because it goes to my comment from, was it the last episode? I said, well, maybe it's not just the fear that's gone. Maybe it's a sense of right and wrong. Because Halloran was certainly scared of Leroy. It's not somebody he wants to F with. But, well, maybe we can take that conversation a tad bit further. Do you think I might be onto something with that? Because maybe like history's repeating itself too, because of course Halloran is in The Shining. And if we have a man, woman, and child, right? And the Hanlons overlook hotel in a small house, maybe.
The Torrances. No.
She shuts me down immediately.
Just no.
All right. Because, I mean, the dads maybe have the same problem, too.
I don't think they have the same problem. Jack was driven crazy by the ghosts in the hotel.
But maybe Jack didn't have
and the seclusion. Fear. Jack was very afraid. Jack definitely had fear. Leroy, he knows right from wrong. I can't imagine he would pass any sort of mental acuity test to be part of the Air Force if he didn't know right from wrong.
That's true.
Well, he only recently got out of a Korean War, but he only recently got his amygdala damaged. So
yes, but during his recovery, he would have been put through those tests again to make sure he was fit for duty.
He doesn't seem like the kind of guy that's like malicious in any kind of way.
I don't think people looked into, just in terms of like shell shock, what they used to call shell shock, until because it was a World War II phenomenon. It was a time immemorial phenomenon, but still.
That's true too.
So only the first time they documented it.
Their knowledge of mental illness at this time is almost non-existent.
Yeah. I mean, it was there. It was a known thing, but they didn't really look into it until after Nam, basically. It was 70s, basically.
I don't get that from Leroy. I think his special quirk is that he's just not afraid.
Everybody has something.
He knew right from wrong because he didn't hand over the schematics for the thing.
If it's just mimicry, though.
If he didn't know or didn't care, he'd be like, oh, whatever, here you go.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not gung-ho about that idea, but it did creep in the back of my head, the place where Leroy does not have, Listen,
David, Leroy is in the hero category, so just leave him there, all right?
Okay. He's I'm going to say this out loud. We're going to say this out loud. We're going to say this. We're going to say this right now. Because, if Leroy can't be the man he needs to be for Charlotte, I know somebody who can.
David will gladly step in.
David or Rachel, I don't know. It's one of them. One of us two.
I'll step in. Move over, Leroy. I got this.
That's all I'm saying. Listen, I love Leroy. I love him a lot. He seems like a great guy. He and Paulie have a great relationship. I can base off my impressions off of him about But just saying.
All right. I want to say
Ms. Hanlon.
Oh my gosh. Stop. I want to say that I appreciated the support that Halloran gives to Leroy when Charlotte's kind of dogging on him.
I made note of that too.
And I don't think, before you even say anything, I don't think it's out of fear of Leroy. I think it's actual respect. I think Halloran knows what he says.
Well, he saved his life, so it's like kind of like I have a bias.
Yeah. But, Charlotte's like, I want to make change and make waves. And Leroy's like, no, I'm trying to climb the military ladder here. And that's just not going to be good. And Halloran agrees. He's like, yeah, you don't want to make waves. I got to tell you, that scene choked me up a little bit, surprisingly.
Wow.
I know, it shook me. It shocked me too.
Having to choose between the two things, basically, right?
Well, hearing Halloran just talk about, one, how tough it is in the military, period, but also to face the extraordinary challenges that they do as African Americans in the military and in this time, period. I don't know. For some reason, in that moment, listening to him say these things, it hit me how that's real. Like, we're not just watching a show. This happened to people. They went through this. And for some reason, in that moment, I felt the weight of it.
Well, and for it being even the Sophie's choice of like having to choose between your military career, where you have a better chance of achieving that American dream that Leroy's dad spoke about. The ills of America's promises, the things that don't come true, can be solved by America's promises, basically. Like the idea of America can trump America is America's record, basically. So it goes back to the dinner table and they're talking about, well, what do you choose? Do you choose the civil rights movement that was burgeoning in Louisiana? Or do you choose this track, which is, okay, if we can make it here, we can be an example of what things could be like. It's the same question I asked about, isn't this story, this it story, in this time and in this place, the appropriate answer to what would you have done with the Nazis? Would you, as a German citizen, have said, no, 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 no Nazis? Or would you have just gotten along to get on? And this is just another one of those examples. Would you have just gotten along to get on, move through the system rather than buck against the system? And it's just a sad choice that you have to make, is that you have to suppress the desire to speak up about certain things because it would sacrifice your well-being, basically.
Your well-being or those around you.
In favor of a really, really good track, too. So it's in, but then, of course, Charlotte has to sacrifice her own desires, not only just for her career path, but for civil rights, her desire to teach history, basically, so that we no longer repeat it. It's really, really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And I feel like them coming back to it over and over again. In the last episode, they kind of alluded to it, but in this episode, they really touched on it. It was hard to watch. Like, oh, but we don't have to talk about that. It's hard. We do have one more thing to talk about. And that is, first of all, the cease and desist that Rose sends to Shaw after the big old meeting. And then it's really not that as much, because I know that she talks to her nephew and she says, you're needed for something else. You stay away from this. Don't get near this. We need you for something else. I was just wondering if you guys had any idea about what that could be, or
no idea.
You guys, again, I'm the dummy here. So
no, I guess I kind of just took it as keeping him away from what we know as Pennywise. She's like, I want to find out what they're doing. I think she has an idea of what they're doing.
Yeah.
She doesn't want her nephew anywhere near that evil.
Well, yeah.
And even though, like, Shaw says, like, oh, we're just surveying for what? Some kind of pipe they want to put down?
So confident.
I know. She knows he's lying. He knows what's there. He knows what's there. She knows he knows what's there. And it's not like, what are the chances you'd be digging right here?
Don't bullshit a bullshitter.
Exactly. So, Francis, are you lying to Rose about all the digs, laying water pipes? You lying? Why are you lying to Rose? You know you love her. I mean, or maybe he doesn't remember that he loves her.
What? I'm like, what? They were like 12.
Shh. Love lasts forever, Rachel.
Oh my gosh.
You never had a love when you were 12 years old?
Yeah, you never had a little crush that, I mean, maybe it goes away, obviously, over time, but like, didn't you see them again? You get the little flutterbys? I'm kidding. I have no idea. I have no clue. I moved around a lot. Just like Francis Shaw.
Back to when I was 12. I don't remember. I don't remember being 12.
There is an interesting conundrum because Rose does say something to the effect to her nephew. She says, if I don't trust them, I'll just let them keep digging, because if they keep digging, they will get hurt, basically. But it depends. You want to stop them if you think their intentions are pure, because you don't want them to die. But if you want them to end their lives, keep going.
Well, and there probably is sacred land there that
true.
None of them want disturbed. That's a very real reason too.
That is a concern, sure.
Yeah. Go do what you're doing. And Shaw's really quick with that too. He's like, well, then work with me. Tell me where not to dig. And
this is where it gets tricky, because if they work together and she points out the sites that he ought to avoid, will he then go, well, those are the sites I have to dig? And then, then what will happen?
I was thinking the same thing.
Is he willing to sacrifice his relationship with Rose for the greater good? Which
probably,
most people do.
He didn't even remember her before 10 minutes ago. Also, could these sacred grounds be exactly where they do need to be digging? Maybe that's where these beacons and Pennywise are.
They could be sites of large-scale violence that were a direct cause of Pennywise and therefore our beacons.
Yep.
Who knows?
If the Bradley Gang massacre is an example.
Yeah.
My goodness.
My question is, do we think that happened right there? 'Cause my thought was that the Bradley Gang massacre happened in the middle of Derry, but maybe they just threw the car into like a quarry there.
It did. That's what was really confusing to me at first. It was like, and that's what they were asking as well. If that happened in the middle of the square, well, basically where Charlotte was in the last episode.
Why are they buried out here?
Great questione. Well, and then have the natives suffered as a result of this too? Because all of these because if the slingshot is imbued with courage, let's say, which is why Dick Halloran is able to suss out Pennywise where it's located, then the Cadillac basically and all the other things are ways of finding him too, basically, right? Isn't it?
Was the slingshot linked to Pennywise because it was used against him, or because it was just in his presence?
I think it was because it was used against him.
Because it hurt him.
Something that had made contact.
Whether that's true or not is a whole other story, but still.
Well, technically, the rock that hit him is what hurt him.
Oh my God, with this
shot through the rock.
Technicals. Okay. But it's also, it actually doesn't matter, right? Because it's not really the thing. It's the belief that it will hurt him.
The weapon, right?
Right, because see, look, he had a rail thing in the eye, right? See, he had the little railing in his eye, like the Pennywise figure that Rob has in the photo. But that didn't kill it, right? But it's the belief.
It didn't kill it. It does hurt it. And then in the because this happens in the first movie. And in the second movie, Bev takes this exact thing that she used, so she finds it at the house, hands it to Eddie, and says, "This kills monsters if you believe it does." And then he throws it, and he does hurt Pennywise, but not enough to kill him, and then Pennywise kills Eddie.
We see the same thing in the miniseries with the battery acid.
Yeah.
Baby Seth Green.
Exactly right. Mm-hmm.
Richie Tozier, right? Is Seth Green? Yeah.
Seth Green is Richie.
Hard to believe, by the way. It's so crazy.
I know.
His look changed so much from that movie. He had like a kind of like a high top fade sort of situation going on.
Yeah.
I think it was the 80s.
And then
although
in the 90s,
it was the 50s.
He had like the little split middle here. Just the glasses too. Whoa. The braces. Anyway, imbuing with evil. Well, and that, I think the thing I was saying about that was, don't these things cause the natives trouble too? The Native Americans too? Because having these things buried in their sacred lands could be a problem. Maybe they're handling it. I don't know, with wards and stuff.
The Chakapiwa tribe tried to kill it and failed with the ritual of Chud. And Mike tried to repeat. So they definitely have had their troubles with it.
I want to know more about that. You see, there's a problem. If I press you on this, Rachel's going to be like, wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Yeah, that feels like
a sleep, David.
Save it for next time.
That feels like a longer than 10-minute conversation.
I see. Do you feel me wanting to ask more about this?
Yeah.
I'm like,
I can't give you any more information than that because that's just what I know from the movie.
I guess you'll have to research it, David.
It's so delicious, though. Oh, okay. No, I don't want to. I want you to tell me. Oh, okay. The Tatas. I love how Rich shifted gears from astronaut Alan Shepard, the first man in space, peeing his spacesuit, which is a real thing, by the way, before his 1961 flight, right? Just a year prior. It's a real thing. They turned off his electronics. He did still have trouble with his suit after he did that, but that's neither here nor there. But it's because of that incident, they built in systems for that specific task. If one wants to pee, little unit to collect the pee.
Would that unit be a diaper?
No, it's literally a tube to collect the pee in bat. It's more of like it's not a catheter, but in a way it is. Kind of connects to your little hose.
But it doesn't go inside.
No. It's an outside catheter.
Oh, okay.
More like a collection. It literally refers as a collection unit.
Okay. I'm picturing nope, I'm not picturing anything. Moving on.
Alan Shepard, little hose connected to his hose.
I don't want to picture any of that. All right. So.
Oh, no.
Urine collection system, if you want to be more specific.
Okay. All right. Yep.
On future missions.
Got it.
Then he shifts straight to tatas, because of course, if you think of pee-pee, you have to think of tata. So,
yep. Pee and boobs. Yep.
He mentions Dolores' big old boobs, but then he went straight to, like, geez, boys are cute. He went straight to Marge, and you got to hear the music all over again, which I thought was super cool, huh? I don't know what it is. Like this series captures that feeling that you used to get when it came to maybe situation comedies or like even old cartoons where the little angels.
Yep. It's like all dreamy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, actually. So, and who ruins the dreamy thinking of Marge immediately is Ronnie and Lily banging on the window, disturbing the old ladies next to the window too. Oh, my word. It's not going with the flow, these ladies. I will mention one thing. This is what Rose says to her nephew. She says, the boys shouldn't get involved and are needed elsewhere, basically is what she said. Just wanted to put a pin in. Maybe somebody in the audience knows what she might be referring to in the Stephen King universe, or maybe even the It universe. She says also she doesn't want the military to stop until she knows what they're doing because Pennywise might sort it out for himself. So in case she wants to save them, that's the reason to stop them. And one last little detail about Rose. She is wearing a yellow coat. This is Rachel's red and yellow conversation.
My color schemes.
A very obviously yellow coat.
Yeah. Every episode has been very rich with primary colors.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, even the Curio Carnival thing was pretty rife with the color system because the girls are wearing the light blue dresses and the blood red conjoining thing. Okay. Is this an actual thing where Dick Halloran did have sex with Aretha Franklin or hooked up was the
Now
word.
that I'm aware of.
I
wouldn't put it past him if he put the suggestion in her head, like, I am attractive. He wouldn't say it like that, obviously. Ms. Franklin, he'd say, "Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after these messages." We just thought we'd remind you to show this episode some love by tapping that like button, if there's one to be tapped, subscribing to our podcast or channel, and if available, enabling all notifications, and sharing the show, or clips of it, with everyone you know. And don't be afraid to reach out. Leave your questions, feedback, ideas, or even concerns in the comments section. There isn't one? Head on over to ratethispodcast.com/squawking and leave your thoughts there. Rating our podcast is the best way to get our attention because it also boosts our visibility. And we'll probably address it in the next episode too. And if you think there's something to what we're doing here at Squawking Dead, tip us over on Ko-fi. As a token of our appreciation, you'll receive forever access to our Discord, along with 30 days access to our uncut episode and interview recordings, plus our pre-squawk insights. Take your support further. Join a membership tier on either ko-fi.com/squawkingdead or patreon.com/squawkingdead, and you'll unlock access to more channels on our Discord server, receive shoutouts at the end of every episode, and depending on what tier you join, the ability to join us on camera and mic to break down future episodes alongside us. Thank you for hearing us out and making it this far into the episode. We now return you to our regularly scheduled podcast.
I hope we see some new digs for him and his buddies playing cards.
Yeah.
He did ask for a better situation there. Hopefully we see that for him.
Small comfort, too. Like if
I know.
Pennywise is now going to be after him.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be just fine. I think his buddies are done for in one way or another.
Reggie and did we get the other guy's name yet?
You keep asking, but I don't think we did.
No.
I don't. Okay.
I'm sure it's on IMDb. The actor's like, my name is this.
Right.
Like, it was never mentioned in the show.
Like, the character has a name, I'm sure.
Well, just like Rich's last name. It's I want to know.
Like I'm sure he has one.
No.
But,
it's like Prince. He only has the one. And even that one, we don't know.
No.
I guess with that, everybody, I really hope you enjoyed the third episode of it. Welcome to Derry. I asked the question in the last episode, can they keep this pace up? And they did slow the pace. And maybe according to you, Rachel, maybe some of those beats might have been at least slightly intentional, how it wasn't as scary as the last two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that the next episode will be like, oh, wait till you get a load of this craziness.
Well, I get that the audience here is not just me. The show isn't just for me, so they have to make the horror bite size. It needs to be edible for everyone.
Right, because some people are scared of clowns, some people are scared of spiders. It's like that. You have to get everybody where they're at, right? Some people don't like that their mother's womb is trying to devour them. Yes. I think most people wouldn't, right?
Exactly.
I think save the big giant moments for your season finales or big battles that you end up having. How long's the show supposed to go for?
December 14th is the last episode.
Which are they going to skip a week for Thanksgiving? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Probably not.
I didn't see that on the schedule.
So you're looking at about 4 or 5 more episodes.
Yeah.
It's a decent run. But are they playing on multiple seasons? That's what I want to know.
I did come across something that said the idea may have been, I don't know if they know for sure, but that each season would go further back in time, further back in the cycles, basically.
That is
and this one being the closest, I think. Well, unless the next season is them in the future. So the next cycle. So then we know the kids in the 2 remaining cycles. Maybe.
Yeah, so then maybe it's...
What future? I mean, if the kids in the movies actually killed him.
Pennywise is getting rid of the older generation that managed to survive this generation, basically, this cycle. Yikes. Well, 62 plus 27.
No, that puts you right at the first movie.
The next, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, maybe they will go back in time.
Maybe.
I think that'd be a very interesting concept.
Well, and then they would bring up all the things that were in the title sequence, the Kitchener Ironworks explosion. 1908 happened to be in the books, at least, when the Kitchener explosion occurred, which is when the Curio Carnival thing happened, right on time. Yeah. I don't know if it's on the show because the timelines are all messed up.
Is it 08 or 06? Because I've seen both.
I'm just going to double check. It's 1908.
Both. Okay.
And again, is it the book timeline or is it the?
I don't. Yeah, exactly.
Definitely the movie's timeline. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think they're.
Well, the movie is the show timeline
with the movies.
Yeah.
So who knows?
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Check out our coverage of Pluribus because it ended up being a pretty cool show.
Yeah.
And if you didn't know it, we talk about Walking Dead all the time too. So you could go like start at the beginning of those episodes and
which people have been doing, which is great. Obviously, Daryl Dixon season 3 just ended, so you can watch our coverage of seasons 1 through 3, which I thought was packed full of information.
Yeah, so go watch all of that stuff.
Yeah, and just in case you didn't know, season 4 of Daryl Dixon will be 2026. There's no definitive date, obviously, or even season of when it will be coming out, but it's on the heels. And that's the final season, the finale season, basically. So
he's got to come home.
And with that, everybody, I've been your host, David Cameo, and I was joined by
Cosmo Mom 09
and Rob at Rob Stuff and Things.
Rob's Stuff _N as in Nancy _Thangs THANGS on the TikToks, and all together in one word on the YouTubes. And I've been very happy. I wish Bridget was here. It's nice to see her really psyched about this series too. And you, Ray, obviously. Yeah. I couldn't do this series without you. You seem very psyched and note-taking-y, which is weird. I'm not used to it.
I haven't taken notes since Walking Dead ended. How excited I am.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you in the next one. And hey, we'll see you in the next recording or discussion of Pluribus' 3rd episode. Those episodes come out on Fridays. Bone up, mother effers.
Yeah.
And join us for this highly philosophical conversation.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Join the Patreon. Be like me. Get on the show if you want to.
That's right. Yeah. Pay attention to those PSAs we've been putting at the end of every episode, which I have to improve a little. I have to tweak it a little bit. But yes, we'll see you in the next recording, folks. And you don't even have to join anything. Just follow us there so you can join us in the real-time chat in the studios. We love to hear your feedback, and we want you to get excited about these series. So see you later, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you again for making it to yet another episode of Squawking Dead, 2 days in a row. This one covering It, Welcome to Derry's 3rd episode of its 1st season, titled Now You See It. We hadn't plugged our merch in a little bit of a while. So if it so pleases you, head on over to squawkingdead.com, tap the main menu, choose shop merch, choose the new merch, and have a party, because in case you hadn't noticed, there is a bit of a change of some kind that is highly beneficial to you if you've been interested in buying merch, but at a discounted price. For a limited time, you'll be able to get our merch on our new website for 20% off. Enjoy that through the end of November. And in the interest of time and in an attempt to catch up with our workload so I can watch the next episode of Pluribus in peace, we now take you to the portion of the podcast where we shout out our members. Since we don't have any Survivors members, we're just going to shout out our Whisperers members, starting with Rob Lucchese, who was with us on this episode. You can find him, as I said on the episode, at Rob's Stuff _N is Nancy _Thangs THANGS on TikTok, and of course at Kim.Rowley, the number 1 on Facebook. It's been a bit difficult trying to release 2 episodes at the same time throughout the week. I basically spent all of Saturday trying to edit this episode down, provide all the lovely video clips in slow motion, text overlays, all that stuff, the right cuts, slimming these episodes down from their original length of over 2 hours down to a reasonable amount of time. And I hope you appreciate them. It's kind of why we need your support now more than ever. We're doing our best to provide you the best episodes possible in the same manner as we always do. It's our pleasure. I love doing it. I end up seeing things that I didn't see before, slowing down the footage and zooming in on certain objects. Thank you again for always sticking by us and for making it this far. And if you really, really do appreciate it, do the free things, do the things that would help us financially. Just do something. You could even hype us on YouTube, apparently, I guess. Maybe, perhaps. I hear that's a thing. Anything that you can do to lift us off the ground, like the helicopter thing that transported Halloran with Leroy and Polly. I don't know who we are in the scenario, but in any case, just remember that we are Squawking Dead.